What's going on, everybody? Glad you're here. You are listening to the Genuine Leadership Shift. I'm Austin James Crawford, and we're just here to create a space to talk about some real leadership, hard truths, and the work it takes to do the right thing and be a great person. Let's get into it. Well, here's the truth about leadership. Most people, I don't think, are falling short because they don't care. They're falling short because no one has ever taught them how to lead themselves first. This is the Genuine Leadership Shift. I'm Austin Crawford. I am a restaurant operator by trade. But I am a connection-driven leader at heart. And that matters because hospitality is not just an industry. Hospitality is a posture. Hospitality is a way of living your life. Hospitality is how you show up. I think that ultimately here, the definition of hospitality is how you make people feel seen, how you make people feel understood, how you make them feel supported. And that's contingent upon nothing other than just who you are. So whether you're leading a restaurant, whether you're leading a boardroom, teaching in a classroom, or just building a team that's trying to be better every single day, hospitality's got to be at the core of what you do. I spent many years building teams, opening spaces, developing people, and learning. Learning sometimes the hard way. But how much does leadership really demand from you? It can be a lot. And however, through this process, I think that I'm still learning. And really, that's why I'm here. This podcast and this is all starting because I realized something that honestly humbled me. And that is like I couldn't keep pushing other people to grow if I wasn't actively growing myself. And I don't know, I love coaching people. I love developing leaders. I want to be a better leader myself. I just love helping people become a better version of themselves than that they knew that they were capable of. And so that was important. But also at the same time, I hit a point where I looked in the mirror and I asked, am I still growing? Am I actually leading? Am I leading from clarity? Am I leading in my actual presence? And I got tired of feeling stretched thin internally. But showing up every day like everything is okay, it's exhausting. I got tired, I think, too, of just talking about a culture and knowing deeply down and deep inside me that I wasn't always modeling, a standard that I expected. And so that rude, invasive honesty, I think, is kind of what's starting to shift me. I don't think I've arrived by any means, but it's definitely something that has created a shift inside me. And that's where the Genuine Leadership Shift really kind of started to take place. So it's not one moment, but dozens of very small, uncomfortable ones. A conversation that's challenged my tone, a result that didn't reflect the effort, a win that felt shallow or hollow because maybe I didn't lead it that well, or a team that just really needed a better version of me. Those are all, I think, realizations that are a little bit heavy, true, and heavy is okay. And so that's kind of where we're at. So culture is important. Culture is something that we have, it's at the baseline. And in the industry in which I'm working and the space in which I'm leading, culture is at the foundation of all of that. And culture is not what you say. Culture is who you are. And I think culture is who you are consistently too. I don't know. That's ultimately taken that framework, and it's just run very synonymous with this whole do right, be great movement. And that's where the Genuine Leadership Playbook was born. That's what this podcast is built on. So yeah, if you've read the book, if you've picked it up, if you haven't, I recommend you do. I'd love your feedback. It's a beginning basis of, I think what's to come in the future. But hospitality is not an industry. Hospitality is the human practice of just leading people well. Let me be upfront, right? I'm not like a guru. Don't have this all figured out. I definitely don't think I'm the guy with all the answers. I'm not here to preach, and honestly, I don't want to even be here to pretend. And if you've seen any of my posts, if you followed some of my stuff, if it's resonated with you, and you didn't send a like, that's okay, right? I think that my goal here is to ultimately create an impact, leave a legacy. Other people's how they live their life. But I'm ultimately here because I want to be a better human. I want to be a better leader. I want to be a better contributor. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better dad. And I want to do all of those things better today than I did yesterday. And so I want to share some of the lessons. I want to share some wins. I want to share some losses that have shaped me along my way. And maybe you're carrying some of the same stuff. Maybe you've had some of the same frustrations. Maybe you've had the similar questions. And maybe you're just trying to grow yourself while pouring everything into everyone else. And I don't want you to be stressed about it. I want to create a space where we can connect and feel heard and feel seen. And hopefully that's, where we wind up with this. I've stressed in my opinion, I've stressed overly about this launch, about this journey of this podcast thing, and who would be receiving it well. Would somebody remember the real, genuine reason why I'm doing it? Would somebody care? And I guess none of it really matters, because it's about me and it's about my development. But I want to be able to share that and, serve other people. And hopefully this is an opportunity to be able to provide that. So it's definitely not about perfection. Even though I'm going to try to keep it polished, I'm going to try to, create a space where, taken seriously. But ultimately it's just about being real. I think it's about, growth here in the public eye. It's definitely, though, about walking the walk. And so putting myself out there hopefully allows me to have another avenue in which I am held to accountability, and I am held to a place that I can, walk the walk and, share with you what I've learned, and also hopefully maybe learn some stuff from you guys too. So, honest truth, this podcast is not going to be for everybody. It's going to be for people, I think, that want to lead with some connection. I think it's going to be for people who want to leave other people better in which they found them, or leave spaces in which they enter better in which they found them. It's going to be really, I think, for the people that want to set a new standard in how they show up. And like I said, yeah, it's also for me too. And so if I do this right, maybe we can all win together. So, talking about connection-driven leadership, and going into the book a little bit. First truth of connection-driven leadership is that your team doesn't need a perfect leader, and they just need a present and a consistent one. They want somebody who listens. They want a leader who responds instead of just reacts. They want a leader who sets the tone, holds the standard, and keeps the environment clean, even when everything around you feels a little bit messy. Presence is what's found, right? Ultimately in hospitality as a whole. It's not just serving guests in a restaurant or hosting people in a hotel. It's serving people. But ultimately, first, before you can do any of those things in that industry or in any industry in which you are leading, you've got to be hospitable to your people. You've got to serve your people. Your presence is a skill that I think has to be built. Something that I want to continue to learn and focus on, and being available. So hopefully we can build that here. Okay. What you're stepping into, what's this podcast going to be all about? Hopefully it's quick, actionable leadership episodes. Hopefully it's got some real stories, some from places that were really experienced. Want to provide tools and opportunity to build and drive culture within your own organization as we strengthen it within our own. Lessons, I think, that hopefully we'll be able to apply here too, to help lead your team, lead your staff, lead your associates, maybe lead your family, but also leading yourself. So framework is all in the book. And it's something though that I just want to bring out and put into real life situations and circumstances. And this is not also to be confused, I don't think, with like a hospitality or a leadership podcast. I just want it to be, I think, a human podcast. So if you're trying to lead better, hopefully this will be a fit for you. But where it's going and where you can expect is hopefully coming episodes. But we want to be kind of focusing on is leading yourself before you lead anybody else. Your mood versus leadership, and why they are not allowed in the same room. Building connection, driving standards, accountability with losing trust, delivering +1 as a leader, protecting culture intentionally, how to lead when you're overwhelmed, frustrated, and human, right? How to grow your team while growing yourself, leadership wins, missteps, and all of those things. Hopefully none of these are be understood as just theory. I want them to be understood as lived experiences, and I think that that's where the real connection is going to come from. So all of that stuff matters, and hope it matters to you too. Leadership is simple. It's a daily choice to show up better than you did yesterday, and hopefully this podcast will allow me to choose to grow in public. And if you're on that same path, or you want to be, I think that you ultimately here are in the right place. But before you head out, the cliche, thing that happens, like this information can't get into anybody else's hands if we don't share it. And if some of this has hit home with you, I hope that you follow the show. I hope you save this episode. I hope you share with somebody that you believe has a big or a small leader inside of them. And I don't know, maybe you just like what you heard. Maybe you didn't. Maybe it challenged you, pushed you. Maybe it's like, whatever. But just drop your thoughts. Share your feedback. This is what I'm looking for. And I can't be better myself without hearing your feedback. So positive, negative, that's all of it is a reflection on where we're headed, where we're going. And we can't get better talking about this type of work and avoiding hard conversations. So here's to feeling, and here's to doing, and here's to being better today than we were yesterday. So whatever your app calls for out there, I don't know what it is. Follow, like, subscribe. You're not going to want to miss what's next. This is the Genuine Leadership Shift. Do right, be great. Let's go to work together.